good.
So tonight I am going to assemble my 8.5 by 11 cut above layout kit featuring the Happiest Place special that is going on right now through the end of August on my website, and I'll link that down below. But if you have the current July and August 2020 catalog from Close to My Heart, you can find this special on page 40, and then you've got several purchase options. But what I am going to do today is I'm going to be putting together this kit. Now, what is going to be a little bit different is I'm going to make it a 12 by 12 album. And then also, I'm not going to be doing Disney. My family and I have not been to Disney as a family. So I'm just going to make it kind of that fun, everyday, bright color look that I love to scrapbook my boys with, maybe even some other trips. So I'm going to walk you through a couple of the layouts just to show you how fast and easy, and then I'm going to speed up the rest. So the kit comes with this fully colored illustrated guide that walks you through assembling each 8.5 by 11 layout. You've got your title page, then you've got several double page spreads, and then you've got your last layout or your closing page. I am going to couple the Silver Star confetti with this. You can purchase the entire bundle, which comes with this 8.5 by 11 cut above kit, as well as background and texture paper, with or without a sticker sheet. And then you can also get the cardstock. You can get it all a la carte, or you can purchase this big huge bundle that will come with the Silver Star confetti, as well as these acrylic shapes, and then this stamp set. But for this purpose, I'm going to try to just stick to the 8.5 by 11 cut above kit. The Silver Star confetti, I'm going to use some of the flip flaps that came with this cut above kit, and then I'm just going to add minimal cardstock to make it that 12 by 12. So here are the sticker sheets and the die cuts, and like with all of our cut above kits, each die cut and each sticker sheet tells you what page or what layout those go with, which makes it really easy. You also get your photo placeholders, which I'll be using today since I don't have my photos printed. And then you also get photo mats, as well as some journaling cards, little fun cards. Anything that you could use on these layouts comes pre-cut for you. And then, of course, all my stamp sets are falling. Then, of course, you get the pre-printed 8.5 by 11 layout bases. Aren't they cute? So cute. So I have just pulled some white daisy and some black cardstock from my stash. You could definitely use all white and all black, but I felt like since some of the layouts were predominantly white, that I would pull out some black and see how that goes. So for the title page, I think I'm going to use a white daisy. So I'm going to bring that out, and then I'm going to bring out this page. And then, of course, I have my instructions handy. So I am really just following the lead. I knew immediately that I wanted it to be a 12 by 12 album, but I'm just following the lead of one of my creative design team members, Andrea Sherman. And she basically just, all she did was she took these clusters, and by expanding them out just a little bit, you're able to easily make these and adjust them to 12 by 12. If 12 by 12 scrapbooking is what you're accustomed to, which is what I am used to doing. You definitely, these are going to be so cute as 8.5 by 11 pages. And you can see those right here. That if you are an 8.5 by 11 scrapbooker, or you want an album that is specifically for a Disney trip, then definitely this would be something that would be so cute to add to your collection. And let me pull that catalog back in. Here it is. You can also see here where if you buy the big huge bundle, you get these SVGs. Now you can purchase these separately, but if you buy the big huge bundle, you get them with the kit. And you can see where Close to My Heart has taken one of our Everyday Life albums and actually applied these SVGs using Cricut vinyl, and then just pressed it on the cover there, and that would be really cute. And you could also even do that for the 12 by 12 albums. So let's get started on this title page. Again, I'm just kind of following the instruction. And then it has this big, huge photo mat right here. And then everything else is either pre-printed or stickers. So I'm just going to put that off to the side. I am going to center this here. I'm not going to tape anything down. If you are a follower of mine, you know that I don't like to commit until I have to. So I am just going to kind of lay everything out the way they have it here in the instructions. Of course, I'm going to pull out my die cuts and see how this says title page. I am just going to pop those out, and I prefer to pop the die cuts out as I go. But you definitely could pop them all out, keep them in piles, maybe put them in small envelopes, and that way all the work's done for you. All you have to do is just grab the envelope that goes with that layout, and then you're good. So we've got all the title page elements out, and then we've got some stickers right here. Now I don't want to commit to my stickers yet, so I'm just going to leave those over to the side. And so I am going to put this front and center because it is a title page. And then let's see what we can do with these elements. So I think I'll have that yellow sticker over here. Definitely, let's go ahead and grab. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start gluing these things down. So I can take those stickers off and start using those. So I'm just going to use regular tape adhesive for this. And then I am going to glue it down in the center of this layout. Now I could bring my Versamat in and make sure that it's centered, but I'm pretty confident in my old eye skills that this is going to be close enough. Okay, and then I'm going to attach this 5x7 placeholder. And again, if you are creating this album with your photos already printed, you don't have to worry about these placeholders, or you can do like you probably have seen me do in my videos, where I always like a white photo mat around my photos. And so I like to go ahead and put these photo placeholders down and then just trim my photos, because when it says it's a 5x7, it truly is a 5x7. So you would want to pick or trim your 5x7 photo down just a little bit. And I usually do 1/4 of an inch. So then I have 1/8 of an inch showing everywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the bottom of that white photo mat line up with the bottom of this candy apple polka dotted strip. So you can see right here, I'm going to make that like that. And then I'm going to pull out the stickers. Now again, it is labeled title page. So I've got this one right here. And much like the photo in the color illustrated guide, I'm going to put that right there. This little journaling thing, I'm going to go ahead and tape it down, but I don't want to apply adhesive to that left side, so I can slide my photo up underneath it whenever I am ready to journal or add my little bit of information. So I've got that going on. I am just, those stamps just keep falling. Okay, so then I am going to glue down this star, but I only want to apply adhesive to one side. You definitely could also add some 3D foam adhesive to the star. It'd be super cute popped up. And then I've got this little tiny star. And if you notice, because these are die cuts, they had to have these little tabs to adhere them to the carrier sheet. So if you have any that you don't like, I like to just trim those off with my scissors. And then I am going to pull some of our thin 3D foam dots. And I love to just, these are the perfect size for little bitty things. And then again, I'm going to just add that right there, pop it up. And then for this one, it's supposed to go right here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to make it right there, but I want to span over into this white space. So I'm going to put it right there. And then we've got this little pennant, and then on the sticker sheet, we've got another pennant. And so I am going to adhere that one right there. I'm going to add some adhesive to that one. Again, there's that little bitty tab right there. I'm just going to cut that off. You could also add ink distressing on these. I'm not going to do much ink distressing or anything like that, simply because I want to keep it simple. I want it reproducible for you guys if you are looking for a fast, simple project. So on these larger stars, I am going to pull some of just our regular thin 3D foam tape. I'm looking for my scissors that are non-stick. There's the end of that. Alexa, add thin 3D foam tape to the list.
1030 foam tape added.
1030 foam tape. Okay. By the way, close to my heart, you probably need an app where I can just speak to the app and add all my goodies that I need. Wouldn't that be fun? So I'm going to add some more thin 3D foam tape to here. Make it go right there. And then we've got this little ticket. And I am going to maybe put it over here in this cluster down at the bottom right. And add some foam tape to that. And then I'm going to make it span over into that white daisy part. And so again, these layouts could be used really for anything. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull out red thread, yellow thread, black thread. Because you know, this is my layout. And so I want to add my little thread jumbles that I have become so fond of from one of my favorite crafters, Missy Whidden. I've been watching her for years. And I mean, she is phenomenal, but really these thread jumbles are probably my favorite thing that I have copied basically from her, I guess, for lack of a better word. So okay, so there is that title page. You saw how quick and easy that came through. Again, if you were wanting to keep it just the 8.5 by 11, you would follow these instructions. I am not going to add the title magic just yet. I kind of want to make sure and see what kind of photos I'm going to use. But magic is one of the stickers that comes on the sticker sheet. So there is layout 1. Now let's take a look at layout 2. Again, I'm going to do it real time, and then I'm going to speed everything else up so you can hurry up and get through this album, see how cute it is, and then visit the description for all the ordering information. Okay, so for layout 1, since this was a title page, this is your official first layout. So I have already pulled, I've decided to do it on white daisy cardstock again. I've already pulled the base pages, and then I'm going to pull all of these elements. Now the good thing about these elements is I don't just have to go by photos, they're actually printed on the back which layout they go with. So I'm looking for layout 1. Just making sure I don't have any. This is also a step that you could do in the very beginning if you wanted to get all of this set out and not have to thumb through these. A little organization and thought ahead of time probably could, you could skip this step. So it looks like this is the only element that's added, and then you've got some flip-flaps. Now I'm not going to add my flip-flaps just yet. I am going to wait. And so I've got my two bases. I've got my left layout and my right layout. So then I want to take the die cut sheet and I want to die cut all of the layout 1 elements. And you got these cute little squares. Those are going to be some photo wells, some journaling spots. And then you've got this cute little castle. Find your happy place. I may not use that, even though everyone can find their happy place. Mine just doesn't have a castle unless it's a sand castle. Cute hearts. Let's see, these little hearts, these candy apple ones actually have polka dots. Okay, so we just got 2 more die cuts. You see how easy they come out. I'm going to put that off to the side. Get all of these elements out in front of me so I can look at them. So we've got those. I'm assuming we've got 3 2x2 photo wells right there. Okay. So what I want to do is I actually want to adhere these down to the center. I want them to meet up in the center, that left and right layout. So I am going to go ahead and adhere these down, even without laying everything down like I always do. I just can't picture any other scenario for this layout. So I'm going to lay this down. Again, you could bring in your Versamat, or if you have some sort of ruler paper to line that up. But I am confident in my abilities tonight. So I've got that going. Okay, so then I'm also going to go ahead and I'm going to take my photo place card holder. I'm going to fix my tape right quick. And I'm just going to apply adhesive to the back of there. Again, this is a true 4x6 photo placeholder. So if you are putting this down and adding your photos later, or if you are using this as a white photo mat, you'll just want to trim your photo ever so slightly. And like I said, I like to trim mine down 1/4 inch. So 3 3/4 by 5 3/4, and it just leaves that nice little white mat. Okay, so as far as kind of expanding this, you'll see here that all of these elements are compressed to these 8.5 by 11 sheets. So I'm just going to take these and I'm going to kind of push them out onto that white daisy. Now you could add some paint splatter. Paint splatter would be so cute on this. You've got it there. Definitely you could use it there. Again, I am just going to put these down. I'm not going to ink distress. I'm not going to do any of that. I've got a little bitty tab right there. I'm going to trim off. Aren't you just loving these colors? So we've got Glacier, got Candy Apple, we've got Black, we've got Lemonade. Just bright. Again, it screams Disney, but I don't think it necessarily has to if you didn't want it to, which I do not. I'm going to be using this, like I said. We visit the beach every year, and so on that beach there's a pier with rides. I may use some of the layouts for those. I may use some other ones for like birthday parties, maybe something like that. I'm going to add some thin 3D foam tape to this, but I want to take the sticky off. So I'm going to use my anti-static pouch, and then I'm going to pull out, I literally have thin 3D foam, I mean, I have 3D foam tape everywhere. Every shape, every size. This is probably one of my favorites, and it's only because it comes in the center of our shaker cards. And so I quickly use the outer edge to make the shaker card, but then I always have all these little squares left over. It's another one of my favorites because it's actually thicker than our other options for 3D foam tape. Cutest camera I ever did see. Okay, so we've got that. Then they've got these little arrows right here. So I am going to, I want these to span out just a little bit more. Maybe. Yeah, I do. So we've got that black and white polka dot. Actually, I'm going to go this way. And then I've got that candy apple diagonal stripe. Are those straight? Gosh, it plays tricks on you, doesn't it? I think it's that diagonal stripe that makes you think it's not straight. Because that one's straight. Now this one's not. It's also hard for me to see over my camera, if that makes sense at all. Okay, so we've got that there. They have some little pennants right here, which, believe it or not, I actually like. Exactly right there. It kind of brings it back to the photo. So I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. And keep in mind, I also have a stamp set that comes with this. That I could pull out and use, and I may, once I actually decide what photos are on here. I don't think I'm going to do that now, simply because I kind of want to see what titles I'm going to want, what subtitles. I love how this one is slanted. Can you see that? And so when you line it up flush with the top of that scallop border, it's kind of slanted, if that makes sense. Okay, and then we've got some hearts. They have a red heart and a black heart. I'm really digging that, so I'm going to go ahead and I am going to utilize those as is. Now I could add some thin, some 3D foam tape to these, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm just going to adhere them down with my tape adhesive. Probably should have pulled out my liquid adhesive for this. Okay, so there is that left side. Now let's go ahead and start working on the right side. Again, I know that this is going to be flush with that center of this layout. And of course, I ran out of my tape. Okay, I am locked, ready to go. Okay, so what I do want to do is I want to pull out this left page, and I want to put those pieces, those base pages down, meet them up. That way, this always happens when I go to put my left hand down, it always moves. But that way I can get these exactly lined up. Love it. So who's thinking about purchasing this, or have you already purchased this? I would love to know. Are you keeping it at 8.5 by 11? Do you think you'll go 12 by 12? Are you purchasing the entire bundle? Are you going to do Disney layouts? Are you going to do something else? I just want to know. There's just so much information. Okay. So, these are pre-printed. Aren't they cute? And then we've got the snapshots that's pre-printed. And then I want to just trim off these little tabs. And then I'll have some 2x2 photo wells. So I have a couple of customers that are older ladies, and they just don't do 2x2s. You know, they're not on Instagram. Well, they are, but they don't post a whole lot of photos. So what I like to tell them is 2x2s, even for me, who I love Instagram, I love square photos, even before square photos, square cards. I love squares. But what I like to tell my girls is think of something that's way far off in the distance. And let's say that, you know, you don't necessarily want all the background. You can use 2x2s to just really just get that little bitty image. Or if you do want the background, you can have a bigger background and then the 3 that really zoom in on them, either that or have them tiny. Instead of one photo and that's the only photo you have, and this is little bitty subject and then all this street. Or, you know, I'm thinking about riding bikes. You know, when your kids learn to ride bikes, you have tons of photos, and most of them, you know, they're down the very end of the street. But, you know, us moms, we're just sitting there snapping pictures. Just go, baby, go. Well, just think how cute a little bitty photo would be, blowing her up there, and then kind of having some closer ups here. So there are a couple of ways to do lining up photos in a line. I always like to bring my T-ruler out. But then if you're centering it, you want to put the center down first. Otherwise, like I'm doing here, I am making sure what happens is I want these two photos to be equal distance from the left and the right. So I'm going to put them down first, and then I'm going to center my center photo, if that makes sense. And it just makes it a whole lot easier for me. And you can see I snipped off some of that when I was cutting off the little tabs. Okay, so then the other thing on here is they've got some groupings of some hearts. So I want to span those out and do them out onto the white daisy. I am going to pull in my liquid adhesive for this. That tape adhesive was just a little bit too much for these hearts. So I've got that one. I've got this one. Now these are the die cuts, remember. And then I'm going to pull in another heart that is on the sticker sheet. It's this little bitty one right here. And it's going to kind of go right there. And then what else do we have? So we've got the smile right here. And it actually was meant for the other layout. I think I'm going to do it right here. Okay, so we're finished with this. Now this is going to go on the flip flap. That is going to go on the finished product. Now keep in mind that our flip flaps, I just did a layout or maybe I haven't posted it yet. There's two ways to adhere the flip-flaps. You can either adhere them directly down onto your layout and then cut your page protector, or you can just glue them on top of your page protector. So probably for this album, since there are quite a few, I'll probably just glue them on top of my page protector. So if you want to know more about that, then just check out some of my other videos that have to do with flip-flaps. So let's take a look at layout 1 and see how cute that is. And again, like I mentioned, some paint splatters would be really cute with this if you wanted to do it. So now I'm going to finish off the rest of the cut above, all these other layouts, but I'm going to speed it up. And I just wanted to show you how easy it is to get these put together and done, and then in your album. If you have any questions, let me know. And then again, don't forget to check down in the description below and find out how you can get your hands on this cute cut above layout kit, as well as all the other Happiest Place items. Okay, so like I said, I am really speeding up the rest of these layouts, basically because it's more of the same process. It's just looking at the color illustrated guide. It's pulling all of the design elements that are already provided for me, either in the pre-cut pieces or the die cuts or the sticker sheets, and just kind of still spreading out those elements to make it a 12 by 12. Now, if you want to see the still shots so you can make your own, those can be found on my blog, and I'll leave a link down below, and you can go look at the photos if you want to create your own, much like I am creating these here. Now, again, like I said, all of this is part of just the cut above kit, aside from the extra cardstock that I added. I tried not to add a whole lot, just to kind of keep cost minimal, and to kind of show you again that this layout or this album can be used for things other than Disney, which I love. Our family has not been to Disney together as a family, and so these layouts will not be used for Disney. I can envision birthday parties, especially since our family was predominantly all boys for so long. Really anything bright and cheerful. It could even be used for girls. I just can't wait to pick my photos that I'm going to put on these layouts. So this is wrapping up that other layout. I love the circle elements in this layout, and then also the square photos that come with it. And then of course in each circle you can add stickers, add some thin 3D foam tape to those to kind of pop them up. And then you've got some other elements as far as that journal card. You could also add flip-flaps if you wanted to, but I decided not to on that one. So this one is also another fun layout. It is a sunburst and then a couple of circle elements. You've got a half circle on this left side, and I am going to include the die cut for that title piece on this side as well. I am going to bring some more of my red thread for that thread jumble behind that focal piece, as well as some tags that come with the die cuts. Now I am cutting off the bottom of those tags so I can slip them underneath that title. And then for that right page, that companion page, again, I'm just lining up the centers. Now you may think, wow, that's kind of everything she did. There are multiple ways that you can make these 12 by 12. Don't think that you have to do it like I'm showing you, either by centering the pieces or bringing them out to the side. You'll see here in just a little bit, if you'll stick around, you can see where I kind of flipped one of the sides. But you could also kind of make those 8.5 by 11s catty cornered. You could cut them apart. You could make them into squares. Really, this video series is more of just letting you kind of see how I did it, and maybe you can grab some inspiration and then you can really make it your own. Again, I'm adding another thread jumble. I don't do that to a lot of these layouts, but since I had it on the left, I really wanted to add it to that right page as well. And these pieces are some of the bottom of the tags that I cut off from that left side, as well as one of the stickers. And then I just cut that sticker, that admission tag sticker apart, and used one on the left and one on the right. So I am finishing up this layout, and then we will take a look at the next layout. So this one you can see predominantly red and hearts. Again, could go with Mickey. You could even probably separate this layout from the group of layouts, and this would be a perfect either Valentine, anniversary, something like that with your loved one if you have a significant other. It definitely doesn't have to be. Hearts can really be for anything. And then instead of the photo corners, I am just going to use those as arrows. Now there are two sizes, and these are the larger ones, and I am just going to do the same on that right page. I'm kind of separating those 8.5 by 11s and then lining up those 4 by 6 photo wells, as well as kind of that PML card. Now you could put a smaller photo in the middle of that, or journal. And then I'm going to bring over those photo corners as arrows on this layout as well. Again, I'm using liquid adhesive for this, just to kind of give me some leeway on moving those around. And then I'm going to tuck in these little pieces over here to the left of that 3 by 4. So this next layout, probably aside from the circle one, is one of my favorites. I just love all the colors. I love diagonal lines. And this is one of the ones that I decided to flip that right side. Now you will see me kind of play with this one quite a bit. It was hard to flip it in my mind, because not only was that right side flipped, but in the inspiration piece, actually that right layout that's flipped is on the left, and the one with the title Making Memories and the inspiration piece is meant for the right layout, if that makes sense. So I really just kind of had to go back and forth on this, trying to get all those elements together, making sure that I had elements on the left that carried over to the right, since I guess the 8.5 by 11s were so discombobulated, because there really wasn't any symmetry or flow to me. So I really wanted to make sure that there were elements on both of the layouts that kind of brought the two together. Now these square frames, I am putting them over 3 by 3 photo wells, or those photo placeholders, but I'm only applying adhesive to the bottom and the sides, and that's going to make it really easy for me just to slip a 3 by 3 photo down underneath there whenever I decide to print my photos and put them on these layouts. So one of the great things that they did with the flip flaps on the inspiration piece was made a shaker element. So I am doing the same thing with those stars, and then a sun that I cut using the exclusive digital art that you can purchase as part of this Happiest Place special. So I've glued that down to my base. I've hidden the seams with some of those stickers, and then that will go over that 3 by 4 photo well. And so isn't that cute? It really turned out good. I am going to add some more of the stickers from the sticker sheet, as well as just a few other little design elements, just to kind of bring it together and make this layout done so we can take a look at the next one. So I think that's it. And so for this other one, I'm going to pull out all the cuts, the die cuts, as well as the photo mats. And then I'm building this on a white daisy cardstock. Now I really didn't know whether I wanted the stripes together, whether I wanted them separated. So I'm going to go ahead and glue them down, and then you'll kind of see me play around with this one as well, much like I did the other one. This one was also kind of weird to me because I kept on looking at the inspiration piece. I loved the clouds that this one had, and then I loved that photo mat, that 4 by 6 that's over on the right side. The lines match up perfectly with those colored stripes that are actually pre-printed on that 8.5 by 11 base. And so I definitely wanted to line those up. I just love how that just kind of brings those stripes over into that white space. And then I go ahead and I'm happy with that one, but you'll see me play with these squares here, and I couldn't decide whether I wanted to add a flip flap to this layout as well. So I'm going to just kind of play around with things. I did still use those little pennants that you can see over on the right that just say "Be happy." They were meant to be as happy as can be, but I did not put the rest of that title on, and I just wanted the "Be happy." And then right here, I'm going to try to figure out which clouds I want to add 3D foam tape and which ones I want glued down. Now I am going to cut apart this smile little piece and then just start kind of tucking in some elements. Again, I'm not really gluing down those other square photos just yet. I'm really not knowing where I'm going to put those. And then there's this little book tab, and then one of the stickers that goes on it is perfect. So right here I am going to again try to add a grouping on that left 3x3 photo well, and then I'm pretty much happy with that bottom one. So then I'm going to add some more elements, and then I'm going to come back and decide where that third 3x3 goes and what I'm going to do with that smile sentiment. So I decided to kind of mat that 3x3 with some of the pieces that I cut off. And again, just kind of leaving them hanging out there. And then I'm going to hide that little crease and then add some more of these stickers and die cuts along the way. So I found that yellow heart. I'm trying to decide if I want it to go somewhere. And then I found this little journaling tag, and then that pretty much is it on that one. So then on the next one is this fun layout with the roller coaster. I'm going to make them meet in the middle, much like I've done on a couple of the other layouts, and then go ahead and die cut or punch out all those die cuts. Now, what I love about this layout is it lends itself to a couple of things, expanding it to a 12x12. So the first being that that little flag pennant can, I don't know what you call that. I don't know, a flag pennant swag, a party banner. It can go over onto that white space to the right. I tried to make it also to the left, but that just didn't work. And then so I'm adding a flip flap here, but because it's going to be over a photo well that doesn't have a photo on it yet, I just kind of diagonally cut that adhesive strip. So there's no adhesive on that photo well, and it's going to make it really easy for me to add a photo later. So here is that smile piece from the layout before. I just cut it to mimic that yellow, that lemonade sticker. And then I'm just going to add these flag pennants again to this little banner. And then I'm going to take the other two and add to the top of that left layout to kind of bring those over to that left side. And then right here, I'm just going to fill in that title. Now, this does say enjoy the ride. You could definitely put roller coaster ride photos on, but you really don't have to. Enjoy the ride is basically like a life mantra, if you will. And so anything that has to do with, enjoying life, being, in your own space, being happy, that's what I'm going to use to scrapbook this. So now we are finally at the end of this process video. If you have hung out with me this far, thank you so much for doing so. This has to be one of my favorite layouts. It is the closing page. There was intended to be a couple of flip-flaps, but I decided not to do that. And these are just going to get adhered directly onto that long black piece. And so that top piece says smile ear to ear. Now I did try to kind of see if I could fit a flip flap in there, but I just decided not to, and then just add these stars on the outside. So there is a flip through of the album. Again, you can visit my blog to see the close-ups. Thank you so much for hanging out and watching. If you liked what you saw, please consider giving me a thumbs up and commenting. And as always, I would love to have you subscribe and hit that notification button.